What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. Tuesday NBA Talk with Jay. We got 4 games on the slate. We got our guy Ronald Cabang on the show as well. What's up with you, Ronald? Everything cool with you, my brother?
Yeah, man, everything's really good. NBA is treating me well right now. Nice little run, short term run, and also on the season. Just yeah, doing really well in the NBA right now. So can't complain, man.
Let's keep it going, man. No, we can't complain, man. This is the life we live, man. I know Ronald over there living a good life as well, man. But regardless of all that, man, let's try to get some cash, man. Everybody that's in the chat, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. My guy Nadine, Mo, Chappie Funk, Joshua, Christian, everybody in the chat, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you like the show, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. As well, you can also join the channel as a member, if you'd like to show some support, my guys. But let's get straight to it here, man. It's 4 games on the board. We're not here to waste your time. Let's try to find some cash here on the board, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of New Orleans in this one. Pelicans land 7 at the house versus the Memphis Grizzlies. John Morant's coming back. Looks like
hmm
Zion got a little illness there, man. What you been doing over there in New Orleans, Zion? But I was really excited to see Zion versus John Morant in this one.
Yeah.
How do you think? Obviously, John Morant first game of the season. The Grizzlies on a back-to-back, but they got smoked last night versus the Thunder. Probably
hmm
were anticipating John Morant's return here, Ronald. I got a question for you. Do you think that the Grizzlies are going to look better, are going to have a little pep in their step now with John Morant back?
Yeah, no, I mean, we talk about, first game, the key player comes back. Typically, it's a fade spot. But man, I don't know, dude. I feel like this is a different vibe. I think he brings a lot of pace to the game. They're a lot more efficient offensively. So I think one thing that I could see is their offense maybe, maybe looking a little bit better. I know, usually we're like, all right, their chemistry is going to be off, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Bain has been one of those guys that's had the ball in his hands a lot during the season, and now it's going to go to Ja. So he's going to have to, obviously adjust a little bit, right, to play off the ball again like he used to.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I think their offense will be a little bit better. I think where they're going to struggle is on the defensive side of the ball with like rotations and things like that. So, I also looked at, with Zion being downgraded with the possibility of him being out, I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
look at the Pelicans and how they do without him. And they've actually gone 4-1 to the over when he's not in the lineup. Not really sure what they do better when he's not in the lineup, but for the most part, they are going up and over the total. From a spread perspective, obviously the Grizzlies, they've been struggling. They lost and failed to
Mm-hmm.
cover 5 straight games. Pelican side, they're great at home, 9-4 straight up, 10-3 against the spread at home. They've actually covered 8 straight at the house as well. So obviously they love playing at home, but they've been traveling a ton. So that's another reason why I wanted to stay off of this game. 6 of their
Mm-hmm.
last 7 games have been on the road, and now they come home for a one game homestand and then go back on the road again for the next game. So this one was a clear stay away game for me. Obviously, if it was just Ja out, I would probably would have looked towards the Pelican side. But with Zion out as well, that kind of takes me off of this game.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Pelicans, first game back at the house off 3 game road trip as well here, Ronald. So
Yeah.
we know the Pelicans have the much better defense here. It's just this is a tough game for me to figure out. Obviously, I mean, there's two type of ways you can look at it. You can say, oh, okay, let's fade John Morant's first game back and let's take the Pelicans. The Pelicans are the better team, but when you've been so lackluster on the season, only 6-19, right? The season isn't over, so you're basically like
Mhm.
one fourth of the season is already a little bit more than one-fourth of the season. But if the Grizzlies want to make a playoff push, they got to get moving fast. They're going to get back Marcus Smart here pretty soon, but John Morant could he could look really rusty or he could look really fresh. It's not
Yeah.
like he's a shooter like he's Desmond Bain where he has to be in rhythm. He's
Yeah.
driving to the basket and getting dunks and things like that and drawing fouls. So in all honesty, just coming from a basketball player, if you drive to the paint a lot, that's not really something that you can be rusty at. Now we know that possibly he could run out of gas late in this game, but that's all on his conditioning. It's not like he's like half the size of Zion. You see what I'm saying? So he's a skinny guy. He's a skin. So I mean, hey, John Morant, Desmond Bain, and Jaren Jackson Jr. They have a big three here. It's all
Mhm.
about what are the bench guys going to do? How can they match up versus the bench of the Pelicans here? What can guys like Tillman see if they get Bismack Biyombo back in this one? So I'm kind of leaning towards that the Grizzlies, after looking so bad, that they'll probably have a little pep in their step. Listen, the Pelicans are the much better team, better defensive team as well. But like Ronald said, when you've been traveling all over the place, you just never know. This is a national TV game. This is just one of those games to where, in my opinion, I think you wait until you see who all the money's on. If all the money's on the Pelicans, I'd be looking towards the Grizzlies. If all the money's on the Grizzlies, which I don't think it will be, then I'd probably go with the Pelicans here. But I do lean towards the Grizzlies plus the points here. And be honest, Ronald, I wouldn't be surprised if the Grizzlies shock the world in this one, man. This just could be one of those games where the Pelicans, they don't always come out and play their best basketball. We know this, man. So I do have a slight lean to the Grizzlies there. It's just one of those to where we've been losing for so long. We finally got our guy back. All right, come on. Now it's time to turn up. Let's ball. You see what I'm saying? What do you? I think his points prop was like at 25. Ronald, what do you think about Ja Morant trying to come out and prove all the haters wrong? We know that everybody been talking. What do you think about him possibly coming out trying to prove everybody wrong?
Yeah, I saw that clip about that interview or whatever, that one of those pressers where they're like, "What do you think about everyone saying that they're better than 12?" He was just like, "All right, yeah, I see them, whatever." But so I think he's gonna show up and show out, but I more so I think he's gonna be distributing the ball a little bit better. More, I think he's gonna focus on that more so than anything coming back for the first game. Obviously, he'll be able to attack the rim and all that stuff, but in my opinion, I think he's not going to force it. I don't think he's going to force feed it, taking it into the paint. But maybe distributing the ball would be the better look, in my opinion, for his first game back.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. My guy says Morant over 7.5 assists. So if he's not forcing it, Ronald, that's not a bad look there, because that means that he won't be, you know what I'm saying? He'll be looking for Bane and for Triple J and just kind of ease back into things, man. He could definitely go for double digits assist in this one tonight, my guys. People in the chat saying, how do you see what percentage? All that shit doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. No matter where you check, it's going to be different. So you know what I'm saying? One thing I do like to look at, though, like if you have DraftKings app and you don't even have to be signed up for this, you can just go to the app and it'll show you how many, at least for their app, how many percentage of bets are on a certain side. That is something I like, at least from DraftKings, especially seeing that they're one of the most public books. You see what I'm saying? So I guess at one answer, I'd say look at the DraftKings app. They at least show you how many percentage bets are on a certain side or whatever. And it is something that I like to fade. You know what I'm saying? My guy liking Ja double. This could be a good game, man. Everybody that I've been talking to so far thinking that, Pelicans easy here, fade the Grizzlies first game, but I'm not really on that. I'm not really on that thought process, especially with them only being 6-19. If they want to turn up, the time is now. He's fresh. They've just been playing so poor lately. This is like a shot in the arm for the Grizzlies here. So I'd actually lean to their way. And also when there's two national TV games, I'd like to think that there'll be like one dog and one favorite. So I really hope the Grizzlies get it done, because I'm kind of liking the favorite in the next game here, man. But let's go over here to the streets of Milwaukee in this one. Ronald, Bucks laying 16.5 at the house versus San Antonio Spurs. I believe this one touched 17. So yeah, it's even 17 at some spots. If you like the Spurs, you can get 17. If you like the Bucks, you can lay 16.5. I mean, I know that this is Spurs. I know that they're ass. I know that Wemby's out. But I mean, I can't be laying 16.5 with the Bucks. I mean, I can't do it. They're 1-3 against the spread this year when laying double digits. The one cover came against the trash ass Pistons, and they were up 30 in the first half, and it was a back to back for the Pistons. So I can't trust the Bucks laying double digits, Ronald. I wouldn't do it here as well. I actually lean Spurs plus the 16.5. What if they shock the world, Ronald, and beat these trash ass Bucks? It's crazy because the Bucks don't look trash, Ronald. But this team is not as good as their record indicates. I'm telling you guys. What do you think about this game, Ronald?
Yeah, I know. Last I saw, Wembanyama is going to be out, right? So I think that's going to be something that's to think about as well. I think he's only been out one game, and when I looked at it, their offensive efficiency was actually slightly better, and their defensive efficiency was also slightly better. Obviously, it's a one-game sample size, so you can't really take too much into it, but that is something to know. And you have one of the better coaches in the league, one of the best coaches in the league, behind them as well. So you can't. For me, I don't expect the Bucks to kind of dominate the way they did against the Pistons. Like you said, the Pistons were on the second leg of back-to-back games as well, and they haven't covered any other double-digit favorite type games this season. But I mean, I think I think one way to look at it is potentially the Spurs team total over or just the over in general. I think both of these teams have been over type teams. Spurs 17-8 to the over this season. They've gone over in 4 of their last 5, so they're kind of trending in that direction as well. One thing on the Spurs side to be worried about, but not too much worried about, but they've gone under in 5 of their last 6 road games. But those games, dude, they face some strong defenses. I think the only team on the road this season that they faced that wasn't in the top 15 or top half of the league in defensive rating was the Suns, and they went over in both of those games. So all other road games, they played against I guess top half of the league in defensive rating, mainly top 10 defenses too. So that's probably the reason why they've struggled offensively on the road. And then the Bucks on their side, they've been an over team as well. Obviously, 18-8 to the over on the season. They've gone over in 8 of their last 9 games. So, one of those things that Ski says, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, kind of just look towards the over in that direction.
Yeah, no, that's a fact there, man. Some guys, most of the chats liking the Bucks, they think shit's gonna be pretty easy. Some of the guys saying Spurs first quarter, first half, they play good on the road. Some of them liking Devin Vassell over his points, 19.5 points. Branham over his points as well. My guy says Wemby out. Giannis to go off for even more. Yeah, this game is all on Giannis. And I don't want to say too much, but let's just say that there are some games that Giannis takes off. Now, I'm not saying it's gonna be this one. But there's games where guys like LeBron and Giannis, and they take off the game. That's all I'm going to say. Let's just leave it at that. So this is a game where it's all on Giannis. Obviously, he could go for another 64 points, and the Spurs could steal the ball from his ass. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the game. But no, but Giannis could go for 64, 65 if he wants to. He could also choose to win this game by 10 points. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Let's just say that.
Yeah. One thing to add from a prop perspective, I was tracking this last season when the Bucks are double digit favorites. It's time to take Portis props, especially like points and rebounds, that type of thing. He definitely does a lot better in those situations because obviously the Bucks are probably going to win that game pretty easily, and Portis gets more minutes than he typically does. And also he plays with the starters sometimes, right? With the first unit, and he also plays with the second unit. So whether it's a close game or a blowout, he's gonna be able to get on the court and not have any problems. So that from a prop perspective, I would say look towards Portis in this game too.
Got you. My God, they in the chat they say Giannis doesn't take games off. It's why I don't tell people. I can't give people all the sauce. I can't tell them everything. You see what I'm saying? But let's just put it that way. Let's see what happens in this game. I don't give a damn who's playing. I wouldn't lay 16.5 versus the Bucks. This is the same team that lost. They were laying 19.5. I remember a game, they were laying 19.5, and everybody was out on the other side, and these motherfuckers lost. They lost outright, my guys, and I've seen it multiple times. You see what I'm saying? So, but let's see what happens in this game. I still lean Spurs plus the 16.5. No way I'm laying I'm not laying 16.5 with the Bucks versus anybody. But I'm also not betting this game as well. I can't say if Wemby was in there. I was thinking about taking the plus 13.5 with the Spurs, but it's up to 16.5, 17 now. Apparently, everybody in the chat thinks the Bucks are easy. So, I mean, maybe take them on the alternate line. If you think it's that easy, take them minus 20.5. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, I got to look a little deeper in this game. I need to see who's reffing in this game. But I know that I'm not looking towards the Bucks at all in this one. But you're liking the over in this one, right, Ronald?
Yeah, I'm looking towards the over, slightly towards the Spurs. So you know how I do team totals and stuff like that. I think Spurs team total might be the way to go as well. If I was to bet on this game.
Okay, got you. Let's get over here to the streets of this is the game of the day in this one, man. Let's go over to the streets of Golden State in this one. Warriors getting 5.5 at the house versus the Boston Celtics in this one here, Ronald. Championship. This is the championship rematch from a few years ago. Now we know a couple big names questionable: Chris Paul and Porzingis on the other side. Total sitting at 233 in this one, Ronald. How you liking this game, my brother?
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with the total moving up. To be honest, I think this is an under type game. If you look towards the Celtics on the road, they've actually struggled offensively on the road. They've gone under their team total in their last 5 road games as well. And then the Warrior side, obviously they're having like roster issues, not roster, like morale and chemistry issues, and you can see it, right? You can see it; it's visible. like Curry, kicking the chair. Curry, he's obviously like messing around with rotation because he can't figure out who to put where. And then like I said, the Celtics struggles on the road is kind of apparent. If you look at them specifically, last 8 road games, 3-5 straight up, 1-7 against the spread, and they've gone under their team total in 7 of their last 8, and that includes 2 overtime games. The 2 overtime games they went under their team total. That's how bad they've been on the road. If you look at them from a numbers perspective, Celtics, they average 11.5 points per game less on the road than they do at home. I think it's like 110 or 111, and then they score 122 or something like that at home. So it's a dramatic drop off. And then the Warriors at home, they score almost 6 points per game less at home than they do on the road. So both teams struggling in their specific situations. If you look towards the Warriors, they've actually lost 9 straight games as dogs and went under their team total in 7 of those games. So for me, a lot of things are really pointing towards the under in this game. I'm not really sure why the total is moving up, in my opinion, especially with KP being questionable. For me, I think both teams struggle offensively in this situation. I would actually lean towards the Warriors to cover this. They won 2 straight, right? So maybe they're picking up some momentum. But for the most part, I actually disagree with the total moving up. I think the under is the way to go here.
Yeah, that's a good look there, man. This total could go. This could be like another championship style type of game in this one. Like you said, neither teams are great in this spot, but so Celtics 2-7-2 against the spread on the road, but the Warriors have been ass at the house. 6-6 straight up, 3-9 against the spread, but they're not usually underdogs here. But something that is interesting about the Celtics, even while they're still not great on the road, they still come out in the first half and ball. This team is the second best team in the NBA in the first half on the road at 8-3 against the spread. So even though some of those games that they don't cover the full game and they don't have it for the full game, they still come out with the first half. If Porzingis is in there, I like the Celtics in the first half -3 in this game. We know that they got bad blood with the Warriors here. We know that the Warriors aren't playing at the best right now. I mean, this isn't the same Warriors team that won the championship versus Celtics, and this isn't the same Celtics team either. They don't have Marcus Smart out there throwing up bricks. They got to upgrade at Drew Holiday. Obviously, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are getting better every year. Derek White. If Porzingis is in there and they're at full strength, I think they really turn up for this game. They do have a game tomorrow. I think that's the spot where they'll I think they put their all into this game. It's on national TV as well. I like Celtics in the first half -3, but I need KP in there. Obviously, and another reason why I don't really like the Celtics full game, because obviously they're going from east to west, but it's a little bit different when you're going from east to west. East to west, you're getting time, like you're time traveling. You're getting more time. When you're going west to east, that's when it's mainly the horrible spot, because you're time traveling, but you're losing time. You see what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Like you're losing 3 hours when you're going from west to east. When you're going from east to west, you're actually gaining 3 hours there. You see what I'm saying? So Celtics in the first half, they're 3-1 against the spread, last 4 on the road. And like I say, second best in the NBA, 8-3 against the spread in the first half on the road, my guys. Even games they don't cover or lose outright, they still come to ball in the first half, guys. So long as KP is in there, I like the Celtics to come out firing in the first half. And then we know the Warriors usually can blitz teams in that third quarter as well. So that's how I'm looking at the game.
That's actually a really, I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me too, that first half on the Celtics side, because with them having the Kings on deck tomorrow, they could try to potentially let off the gas pedal in that second half, and that's when the Warriors kind of take over and gain that enough momentum to either cover or win that game. So it makes a lot of sense to take the Celtics early.
Yeah, no, that's a fact there, man. I'll tell you, these aren't the type of games that I like to bet. Like I'll tell you straight up, I hate betting these national TV games. Everybody's betting them. But this was the play that I did for Action Network. It's like, oh, can you find a bet for the Celtics Warriors? I'm like, man, this is the main game that I don't want to bet, man. But that was the play. Celtics in the first half -3. I hadn't bet it. I'll tell you right now, Porzingis is in there. I won't have a single dollar in this game. So that's the play for today. But I need Porzingis in there, because I really feel like the Celtics are a different team when they have all their guys in there, mainly like Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and Porzingis. I think that starting 5 is absolutely elite, and there's not many teams that can fuck with them. I know that the Warriors are going to try to turn up in this spot as well, but let's be real here. These are 2 teams that are going in different directions, in my opinion. The Celtics are getting better every single year. The Warriors have slowly been on the decline here, my guys. Their guys are getting older. No Draymond in this one. I like the Celtics in the first half as long as KP is playing this game. And it's not a bad look there on the under as well there, Ronald. This could be, even though the Warriors have been really playing defense, I think both teams try to turn up in this particular spot here, my guys. Last game up, Ronald. Let's go over to the streets of Portland in this one. Blazers getting 7 at the house versus the Phoenix Suns, laying 7 on the road. Total sitting at 232 in this one, Ronald. How are you looking at this game? You got a better feel in this game than me, my brother, because I'm all the way off this shit.
Yeah, I like the over on this one, which we were talking right before the show. It's kind of I saw it at 232, and it's come down to 230 and a half at some books, but I'm not really sure why the total has come down in the last like hour or so. But I do think that the over is the play in this one. Obviously, the Suns they've kind of been inconsistent lately on the offensive side of the ball, but the Blazers, man, they've been struggling defensively ever since they got Simons back into the lineup. If I'm looking, so I looked. What I did was look at the last 6 games with Simons in the lineup, compared it to the full season, right? Where without him basically. So when I looked at that offensive rating, is 116.3 in the last 6 games compared to 108 on the season. Their defensive rating is 124 in the last 6 games compared to 115. So their offense got dramatically better and their defense got dramatically worse with Simons in the starting lineup, and then Brogdon pushed to the second unit. The other thing too to mention is when these two teams faced each other in the early part of the season, the total was 223 and a half. The Blazers were 12 and a half point dogs. The Blazers lost that game 107 to 120, and they were missing both Anthony Simons and Scoot. So obviously that's why the total was a lot lower and the spread was a lot bigger. So in my opinion, they get a lot of offense back. They struggle defensively. Obviously, like I said, the Suns are, they've been inconsistent offensively, but this is a type of team defense that you want to face when you're on the downswing, because this could give you some momentum, right? I think a lot of things towards the Sun on the Sun side also point to the over. 11-3 to the over as favorites against teams with a losing record, so they tend to play higher paced, and their offensive efficiency is a lot greater against these weaker teams. If you look at them as conference favorites, right? They want to make sure they take advantage of these conference foes. 10-2 to the over, and they're averaging a combined score of 236.3. Like I said, a lot of things really pointing towards the over in this one. Not really sure why the totals come down from 232, what I saw this morning, but yeah, a lot of things pointing towards the over. Right? Even on the Sun side lately, defensively, they've also been struggling on that side. They've last 16 games, they've allowed 11 teams to go over their team total. So yeah, man, I think either the Blazers team total over or just the over in general.
Bro, the Suns haven't been playing a lick of defense. I'm watching them versus the Wizards. If the Wizards were making threes like in the second half, they would have beat them outright. Bro, I'm like, bro, the Wizards really up by 12 on these boys, man. They was even up by 12 at the end of the third quarter or something like that. It was late in the third quarter. They was still up by 12. I'm just like, bro, these Suns playing like ass, bro. It's like when Bill went down. They just kind of like, all right, it's like, damn, bro, here we go. It's just the energies are really plaguing this team, man. But even if they have everybody, it's just not a strong defensive team. They're gonna be one of those type of teams. They got to beat you with offense every night. They got to put up 130. So now we know Nurkic, that this is something for the prop guys. I don't bet a lot of props, but I do know that when guys are going back to their old stadium, old arena, and going up against their old team, they come to play. Nurkic playing up against his Nazir Little as well, but he comes off the bench. You probably can't even find props for his ass. But Nurkic going up against his old squad, and Aiden, even though he never really chooses to play hard, he's going to choose to play hard versus the Phoenix Suns. That's something we know. Man, we know that Aiden and Booker have a little something going on as well. So maybe Booker says, you know what, man, I want to come out here and cook y'all boys, man. But it's a tough game. Like, it's one of those games that I'll watch. I have no interest in betting this game. Now, Ronald makes really good points with the overs. I mean, both teams can go over their team total in this one. But when it comes to like laying 7 on the road I don't want to take the Blazers. This is what I believe their 4th straight home game. So I mean, they could definitely get it done because the Suns hadn't shown any signs of like blowing teams out. Especially, I mean, they just struggle versus the fucking Wizards, man. But it's just I guess maybe the Blazers could keep this one close, but like I said, man, it's all on Booker and Nurkic and Durant. Do they want to go crazy in this one, or do you want to play at least a little bit of defense? Because if you're not playing defense versus the Blazers, they could mess around and shock you in this one. So maybe over is the best bet in this one, Ronald. I'd be looking at Nurkic props, Aiden props, Devin Booker props, and then maybe towards the over in this one, Ron. Any other thoughts on this game, my brother?
No, I mean, kind of. We talked about like the Pistons yesterday, right? It's like an ugly game, but I mean, I took
Yeah.
the Pistons plus the 12. You got to look at the different situations that these teams are in. I don't think that I'll be on the Blazers side, but I do think that they're going to be better offensively than most people expect. So I would trust their team total over more so than the spread at the 7 number, because obviously it can come down to fouls. The Suns get to the free throw line a ton. I think they might be actually number one at free throw attempts per game. So that kind of took me off of the spread there. But I would think that if you don't like the full game over, man, I feel like the full game over is the way to go. But if you want to take a side, I would say the Blazers team total over would be better than taking the spread, because they're definitely not going to win or cover with defense. Not with the lineup that they have right now.
No, that's a fact, man. I think Joel Embiid is number one in free throws this year. I'm talking about like more than any other team. And you watch this guy play, man. This guy is at the free throw line every fucking play, man. Good Lord, man. But Suns do get to the line as well, man. But that's a show, man. 4 games. I ain't gonna lie, ugly ass car in my opinion, man. I'm already looking at tomorrow for some shit, man. Some shit that I can smash tomorrow, man. But I mean, it's 4 games. Ronald, let them know what you liking, man. Props, totals, whatever you got. The floor is yours, Ronald.
Yeah, I think as far as best bet for the show today, I do think that the Suns and the Blazers over, especially at the current number, 231 is the way to go. I haven't taken it yet, but the Boston Celtics and the Warriors to go under the 235. Earlier it was at 231 and a half, 232. I didn't take it at that number, but having it come up to 235, I do like it a lot more now than earlier. So I might potentially take that under there, under 235. So those will be 2 that I want to give away for as far as best bets for today's show.
Yeah, I can see that. I can honestly see that under. I mean, like you said, it's been going up as well. I think that this could be. I think both teams are going to be very motivated to come in here and play some defense, right? Both teams would really like to get the win in this points in this game. So I could really see this being like a playoff style type of game, even though it's regular season. It's a national TV game. I can see this being a playoff style type of game. That's actually a really good look there on the under there. For me, longest Kristaps Porzingis paper plate in there. You see what I'm saying? Long as he's in there, I'll be sprinkling on Celtics in the first half -3. I don't usually like to bet these type of games. Everybody's watching, everybody's betting them. I like to find games where really nobody is really looking for it, and I can really have a good angle. But had to find this. I wanted to bet the Celtics in some type of way. They're the second best team in the NBA at 8-3 against the spread on the road. Even though they hadn't been covering the full game spread, they still come out there in the first half and ball out. So Celtics first half -3. As long as KP is in there, that's what I'm liking. If you guys like to, man, you can go into we always break down the games of every other game, my guys. So if you want looks and listen to the talk on every single game, go back and check out the rest of the show. I mean, it's cool just coming to check out the end of the show, but if you want to hear our leans and our thoughts on every other game, you can go back and check it out. It's chopped up segment by segment. You see what I'm saying? But that's the show, man. I'm your guy, Jay Money. That's our guy, Ronald. Remember, we're trusting our instincts. We're staying calculated, making calculated decisions, noticing the patterns as well, and we won't have any regrets with our plays, my guys. So whatever you're betting, make sure you guys don't have any regrets at the end of the day, win or lose, my guys. Go check out the Action Network app. It's free to download. You can follow experts over there for free. All type of plays, college basketball, college football, NFL, NBA, whatever you like, podcasts, articles. If you like to read articles, all that type of shit, man. It's all love. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Go follow Ronald right now on Twitter at UCapper Sports. We're back tomorrow. Let's get some cash, my guys. We out. Shout out to everybody in the chat, baby. Let's go.